Can anyone explain why we changed the configuration of the room? Any insights, anyone? We've never held it this way, but we are today. We got quite a few folks who are going to say a few words here, so allow me to jump right in. This is also is this a new mic here? Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Hi, Tim. Thank you for joining us here in the Brick City, as always. With the start of June, and we're still in the early days, I know we're all excited for another summer full of barbecues, family get-togethers, trips down the shore to our lakes, etc. But as households across New Jersey begin to crank up the air conditioning and plug in their fans to stay cool in the summer heat, we know there is one concern that is top of mind for many, if not most: the rising cost of energy. So today I'm proud to announce that starting next month, our administration will begin providing direct economic relief to the people of New Jersey to lower the cost of your monthly energy bill. Altogether, we're going to invest more than $430 million into reducing the cost of every New Jerseyan's monthly energy bill, with even more relief for our state's middle and low-income households. Before I dive into the details of this new form of direct economic relief for hardworking New Jerseyans, I first want to thank the state's leaders who have made this announcement possible. Let me be explicitly clear, we are not in this by ourselves. Without the legislature, we don't get this done. I want to acknowledge a few who are with us today: Senate President Nick Scutari, Speaker of the General Assembly Craig Coughlin, Senators John Berzicelli and John McKeon and Brittany Timberlake, Assemblywoman Ileana and Chair Ileana Pintor-Marin, the President of the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, Christine Gould-Sadovi. We also have Dave Bailey, Assemblyman Dave Bailey, Assemblywoman Michelle Drulis, Assemblywoman Shanique Spate. Is Dan Hutchison here yet? I haven't seen him. I think he's en route still, right? And Dan is hopefully going to join us. It is thanks to their commitment to lowering costs for the people of New Jersey, along with that of all of our partners in the state legislature, that we will begin deducting at least $100 from every household's energy bills. And for our state's most vulnerable families, we will be deducting a total of up to $250 from their energy bills. This initiative reflects our administration's broader and enduring commitment to making New Jersey more affordable for more families, from housing to health care to higher education, and of course, today's topic, to utilities. And we're taking this step today because the fact is the people of New Jersey are being battered by the rising cost of energy. And by the way, this is not unique to New Jersey. You can look all around the country right now, and certainly all around this region, and see that we are not alone. Wholesale electricity prices are up multiples of what they were even a year ago today. And while all of us as public officials bear a responsibility to protect the economic well-being of our state's residents, let us also be clear about one other item. While there are multiple factors driving up the cost of energy in our state, there is one culprit that is largely responsible for placing the burden of that cost on the people of New Jersey. And that culprit is the Pennsylvania-Jersey-Maryland interconnection, otherwise known affectionately as PJM, which manages the flow of power to households in New Jersey as one of 13 states and the District of Columbia in our region. During a time in which demand for electricity is on the rise, PJM has failed to plan for increased energy capacity or especially for bringing new clean energy sources online. And as a result of these failures, PJM is now trying to pass the buck on to the people of New Jersey by increasing the average energy bill in our state by a lot of dollars. And that is, by the way, a lot of dollars is a conservative estimate. That is shameful and unacceptable. It is exactly why the announcement we're making today we're going to provide immediate and direct economic relief to every household in New Jersey. But of course, let me state the obvious, this new form of direct economic relief is a short-term solution. In order to stabilize household energy costs in the long term, PJM must take swift and far-reaching actions to meet growing energy demand. To give one example, PJM must finally provide long overdue approvals for new clean energy sources like solar power that would help expand our supply of energy. Craig and I were this week in Perth Amboy celebrating yet another community solar project. They are dead easy to build. They're dead easy to get into operation. There's no NIMBYism. We're now over 5 gigawatts of installed solar capacity, which, by the way, is enough to power 750,000 homes. But for some inexplicable reason, PJM has delayed the process for allowing new sources of clean, reliable energy to fully flow into our state's homes. If only, by the way, a small fraction of these projects were approved and generating electricity, prices would already be lower for our families and businesses. Additionally, PJM has also refused to address market flaws that have artificially raised energy costs for our state's residents. Just last month, I sent a letter to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, otherwise also affectionately known as FERC, calling upon its members to investigate PJM for potential market manipulation. And next week, I am meeting with the CEO of PJM, Manu Asthana, in Trenton, so we could discuss the steps that he and his team will be taking to lower costs for New Jerseyans, while at the same time ensuring the steady supply of energy for our state's households. So while the announcement we're making today is vitally important and will directly lower costs for the people of New Jersey, it is also a starting point. And as we move forward, we're going to work alongside, again, the Senate President and Speaker and all of their colleagues in the state legislature to build out our state's supply of energy and to crack down on bad actors seeking excessive profits at the expense of our families. We're also going to work with our state's utilities to help further lower energy costs for the people of New Jersey. And I want to thank them for doing their part to help support our neighbors. In fact, PSE&G has already announced meaningful summer relief initiatives, and we're now having constructive conversations as well with our other utilities. But above all, we're going to continue doing everything we possibly can to make New Jersey more affordable for the people we serve, especially when it comes to necessities like energy, health care, and housing. Thank you again all for being here in the Brick City, the great city of Newark. And with that, I'd like to turn the podium over to a valiant champion for the people of New Jersey. Please help me welcome Senate President Nick Scutari.
Thank you, Governor. And I'll be brief. I think you've said it all, and I rather appreciate you spelling out the acronyms for most people because they don't know what they are. I do that as a pet peeve of mine every day. I want to thank the Speaker for his leadership on this issue. I want to thank my senators that are here, Senator John McKeon, Senator Brittany Timberlake, Senator John Berzicelli, all the way up from South Jersey, because of their commitment to the people of the state of New Jersey with an upcoming issue, which is higher energy costs. This targeted relief, as the governor mentioned, is a short-term solution for a long-time problem. The legislature really, I will say, and neither the governor, this is not really our problem. We're only making it our issue because of our commitment to the people of the state of New Jersey. I don't want people to come up with the mistaken idea that this cause was a state issue. This is much larger than New Jersey. But because of our position and the governor's position with respect to monies that we have available, we're going to make it our problem, at least in the short term, while we have meetings with PJM and others to try to get to the bottom of essential things for the people of New Jersey, which is their utilities, affordable utilities. We don't see it yet. We've taken steps to get in front of it. A bipartisan committee already had hearings on this issue with respect to rising energy costs that are already coming forward. But we don't have solutions there yet. This is a solution. It is a short-term solution, but it is a solution that the governor's come up with. Thank you, Governor, for making this day happen. But we have a commitment to try to help the issue. We can't do it ourselves. We need national figures to be in on this. We're trying to figure out the reason, the cost generators for why energy costs are going to be rising so swiftly. We do need to produce more power. We do need an upgraded grid. These are not generally state issues in general, but we're getting ourselves involved in it because we do not want to see our citizens suffer. We know that they need help. We're going to do what we can. We have larger issues coming up. We see Medicare cuts, Medicaid cuts coming up. We're not going to be able to plug those holes either, but we're going to do the best that we can for the people in New Jersey under the governor's leadership, the speaker, and the senators that came here. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Nick, thank you. To Nick's point, by the way, he and the speaker don't have to be in the meeting with PJM, but they want to be at the table, and they'll be right beside me because we're collectively trying to find our way through this. So thank you again, Nick, for everything, including your leadership on this. With that, please help me welcome another outstanding leader and great friend. Please help me welcome the Speaker of the General Assembly, Craig Coughlin. They were applauding before I even said your name.
Thank you. Well, I have more members here than the Senate. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a real pleasure to be here, and I want to start by thanking Governor Murphy and Senate President Scutari for their partnership and recognizing the urgency for so many New Jerseyans and putting ourselves to work right away. Also want to thank my colleagues from the Assembly who are here. Assemblywoman, the governor's already mentioned them, but it bears repeating, and I want them to be recognized. Shanique Spade is here, Dave Bailey, Michelle Drulis, Eliana Pinter-Marin, and I think Dan Hutchinson, he'll probably get the distance award. Oh, he's here. He's arrived. Welcome to everybody, to you, and to my colleagues from the center, both of whom happen to be former Assembly people, a place they remember fondly. This was something that has come together fast, and as the Senate President pointed out, the urgency was because we care so much about what happens to the people of New Jersey and the impact the higher cost will have on them every day. Like so many states across the country, we recognized early on that the rates would not be sustainable, and more importantly, that they just simply weren't fair. And that's why we went to work, and we went to work immediately, not just to solve the immediate problem, which we're doing here today, but to start the work on the long-term solution. I think we have to do three things, right? We have to have this immediate solution to the people so they're not impacted, particularly over the summer when energy bills are higher and people feel the impact more directly. We have to figure out ultimately what is in basic form a simplest problem, right? We have more demand than we have power to provide. We have to solve that ultimately, and then we have to figure out how we get there, because any energy generation projects aren't done overnight. So we have held, the Senate and the Assembly have both held hearings directly with utility. We've met with utilities, regulators, consumer advocates, and residents, and we've asked hard questions. We're demanding transparency, and one thing will be clear throughout that ratepayers have to always be at the center of our efforts. We introduced and passed some legislation. We've done the things that we think we'll do in pursuing an all-out plan to solve this energy challenge that we face right now. Generating our own energy at lower cost is obviously good for the state and good for the people that it will employ, and we'll expect our utility partners to be part of that solution as well. The real practical reality is that so many of us, and I dare say probably everybody in this room, the amount of money that will go up in an electric bill will have a profound impact. But we're not everybody in the state. And for many people, they'll make a hard choice between whether to turn the air conditioner on or suffer through, whether to buy gas or turn the heat up, whether to get their medicine or avoid trying to minimize their energy costs. So it's real and it's meaningful to those people. And so I want to commend the governor and the BPU for finding resources to solve this immediate problem. I want to thank the utilities companies who have worked on the smoothing process, which will make it easier, particularly in the summer for everyone. And I want to remind everybody that this is just the beginning. We solve this immediate problem today. We get on to solving the bigger problems tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for being here, and let me be with you. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, well said, including the sad reality of folks who are going to have to make some tough choices, which ends up in going without, unfortunately. We're going to bounce back and forth between chambers, if that's okay with everybody. This is a statewide issue. It's rare where we meet in one place in the state and we have such a geographic expanse of the districts that are represented here today. Please help me welcome from down south, Senator John Berzicelli.
Governor, thank you. Mr. President and Speaker, thank you as well. Governor, you really framed it correctly. I'll add a bit to that because I want to remind those that are listening that we in the legislature have a tone of outrage that New Jersey is being held hostage. Other states are as well. And I should recognize President of the BPU, who has been just providing a yeoman's effort with regards to trying to get our arms around this. We have learned some things through this process. We have learned that on a given day this month, people generating electricity, selling into our grid system, are going to go from a rate of $28 for a measure of electricity they sell into the grid to $270 on one day. It's a 10-time increase. And when that happened, and although we are grateful for our utilities for participating in this short-term issue to help us and the short-term program, we had no cry of outrage, nobody banging on the table, till the governor got involved. The legislature got involved, and as the president said, it's not normally our role. And frankly, it's the last place we want to be, and it's the last place the utilities and the generators want us to be, but we're here now because we're the only voice that people have in this process. And we have a reason to honestly be outraged as to where we are. And to this governor, to the BPU, to our legislative leaders, this step is an important one because this will ease things for the moment, give us time to take steps to get a toehold. The governor's corresponded directly with FERC, as he mentioned. PGM answers to FERC. They're supposed to be babysitting FERC. And FERC has recently expressed a public statement of lack of confidence in the leadership of FERC, considering they've had a board member not reappointed, the chairman not reappointed and taken off the board. The president announced, or CEO has announced he's retiring, moves back to Texas. Their house is not in order. And we are in a spot now where we have fallen hostage to that. So I want to end on that, but I just want everyone to know that we are outraged, simply put. This is not satisfactory. We've relied on this system to work. It's been a deregulated market on generation for some time, and suddenly it's gone sideways. Whether it's intentional manipulation, incompetence, or who knows what else, we're looking to find out. So, Governor, thank you again. And legislative leaders, thank you as well for letting the legislative process work. To the BPU for this creative approach in the short term, this will help. It'll take the edge off. It's not the full answer. There are people responsible for this happening, and we have to fully understand it, and they have to be held accountable because, as older people will tell you, you follow the money, you will find the truth. This is about money. This is about people making a lot of money in the short term and a lot of windfall profits in generation, and it's coming out of our households' pockets. This takes the edge off of this, but remember, the money's still going back to these people who are going to make a great deal of money, more so than they've made in many, many years. Thank you. Governor?
John, thank you for that. A couple of points I wanted to just underscore. Christine, tell me, you'll correct me if I'm wrong. I think the number of backlog projects in the queue, 79 in New Jersey, but 1,600, I believe, overall, which is extraordinary. I mentioned clean energy sources, which is a particular bone of contention, but it's beyond that as well. And I would also say this, is that John mentioned that in a deregulated world, this has gone sideways, I think is the phrase you used. The original intention of PJM, which is like a century old, of 13 states plus the District of Columbia, the original notion made sense. I might need it one day, I might have excess power another day. Wouldn't it be smart to get a group of different states and the district together and be able to basically have a smoothing of all that experience? So the original intent of this is not the problem. The problem is the behavior of it at this point in time. John, thank you for making those points. As I mentioned, we're going to bounce back and forth. I want to ask, by the way, we are in her town. So we are in her backyard. Please help me welcome Budget Chair, Assemblywoman Ileana Pintor-Marin. I will behave myself as a result.
Yes. Thank you very much, and yes, welcome to the best. I know that I have a lot of colleagues here. This is the best state in the city, the best city in the state of New Jersey. So welcome all. And I just want to really echo what I see you, Senate President. Your eyes. You think Linden is better, but I don't know about that. I just want to echo a lot of sentiments that the Senate President and the Speaker really toted. You know, this is my backyard. You're in the 29th Legislative District. My Assembly colleague is here. And for us, we know the realities, right? You're here, you're downtown, you see these beautiful large buildings. But a lot of our families are going to really struggle when some of these increases happen. And it is correct. It is a real struggle, and it is a decision that they're going to have to make. Although this is not a cure-it-all, this is by any means not going to establish what the rate is even going to be moving forward for next year. We have been responsible throughout the last couple of years, and we're lucky and fortunate that we have resources that we can allocate in order to be helpful for the next couple of months, because this is not going away. Next year, we're back to the same problem. But if we can at least help to alleviate some of the stifleness that's going to happen. I know I yell at my kids all the time. I don't work for PSC&G. So girls, can you please turn off the lights? But it's going to be even more serious this year, because for a lot of those families, they're not even going to turn on the light. That's how serious this is for our district. So I appreciate BPU and being creative and thoughtful. I appreciate a lot of our utilities really helping and coming to the table with different ideas that they've presented as well to us as legislators. And mostly, I really appreciate and I'm thankful for the legislators that have participated in the bipartisan committee that have really talked about different issues. And Governor, for us as a state moving forward, I do think that we seriously need to consider us being more thoughtful and creating our own system in order to not be reliant on others. So I appreciate all of you here today. I appreciate the thoughtfulness to help to fix temporarily this issue. But again, I just want to make clear that this is not going to solve our issues moving forward. We are just at a moment in time that if we can help people, it is our duty. It is part of our oath that we take when we first come into office. So thank you very much.
Ileana, thank you. Switching chambers but staying in the same county. Please help me welcome another great champion, Senator John McKeon. John? Welcome.
Thank you, Governor. Listen, they've only given me 15 minutes, so I'm going to try to go as quick as I can. And I always laugh. I see the Governor, when I've spoken with him before, has these double-spaced, typewritten events. Ileana's talking, off of her. Here's how I write things, just like this. It's like my little. That's about it. Look, Governor, to start with, and with all of your friends in the legislature, and particularly our leadership, doing what you're doing and reacting to this issue is just emblematic of 7.5 years, showing empathy, literally, for those that we all support. And I really congratulate you on that, and to blunt really what's going to hurt all of the working families in New Jersey. So they all owe you a debt of gratitude, and as do we. I'm being a little lighthearted because I'm going to, I've been angry and very angry about this, and for good reason. And you know what I want to bring us back to? The last 10 years, we've had 13 climate disasters in this state. 13. And I don't care if you're from Burlington, if you're from Salem, if you're from Bergen, or if you're from Sussex. Every county's had at least 5. $72 billion worth of damage. And we're sitting in a state that's warming faster than all but 3. And with that in mind, if we stay on this current path, with all of the property that we have within striking distance of our oceans and lakes and rivers, New Jersey as we know it will cease to exist in the next 10 years. It's all that important. And Governor, again, with what you, with your legislative partners, did in moving forward and protecting nuclear,
in making certain that continued. To do what we did with solar as continuing as a leader, to do what you did with wind, and then to have, and you're calling it the PJM, to me it's the PFFI, protect fossil fuel industry, is what's in play. And that's really what's behind this. Just mention a couple things. The 79 solar projects, that should be a criminal investigation because the supply would be there and the prices would already be down. But modernizing the grid, $3 trillion that we need to do it. If we knew how to get it there, there's enough wind in North Dakota to power the whole country. But yet, on the first day of the Trump administration, with a stroke of the pen, the literally trillions that were going to modernize our grid, off the board. Don't get me going with wind, because here in New Jersey, one thing that the PJM did is that the interconnections were negotiated. That was ready to go. Wind shows at like a 67% reliability rate, and that combined would have brought the prices of energy way down. Again, with a stroke of the pen of the Trump administration, that ended. Not to mention, John, 20,000 jobs in your neck of the woods. So I just say this, and I'm sorry to have been a little bit partisan there, but at the end of the day, we need bipartisan, science-based solutions. Our very survival as to what we are depends upon it. So, Governor, again, thank you for what you're going to do for the people of our states. Commissioner, you have your job cut out for you, as we all do in the legislature. God bless you, and thank you.
Thanks, John. You know, I just want to underscore the wind piece of this. We have still, I'm going to use the present tense because we haven't given up, but we have the largest offshore wind program in America, 11.5 gigawatts. If you're in a supply-demand conundrum as we are today, and by the way, part of the demand reason is a good one. More people living here than ever before. More people employed than ever before. Bless you. More businesses in operation than ever before. We're becoming a huge AI hub. All those are good things, but it puts an enormous amount, and Christine knows this better than anyone, enormous pressure on the demand side. So if you're in a supply-demand imbalance, John, to your point, why in God's name would you take 11.5 gigawatts off the table of supply? So we're going to continue fighting that. And as you mentioned, with all of us collectively, John's been very involved in this, the other John in my life today, in keeping the nukes up, alive, open, and well. We'll continue to pound away on that as well. And we'll obviously, I mentioned Craig and I were together in solar this week. That's going to continue to be a huge priority. We are largely in all of the above mode at the moment. With that, one more legislator would love to hear from. We're going to switch chambers again, and then we'll hear from Christine, and that'll round us up. But please welcome from Legislative District 4, Dan Hutchison. Dan, good to have you, buddy. Thanks for coming out.
First of all, Governor, I'd like to thank you personally. This morning I met with a woman suffering from brain cancer, and when I was reviewing her financial situation, I saw a $471 electric bill. I wasn't going to make it here today, but I wanted to make it here today to thank you for Barbara. Good afternoon. I want to thank everyone for coming together today and for moving swiftly to deliver real relief to the people of New Jersey. As someone who represents communities in the South Jersey area, I can tell you we've seen this story before. We know what it feels like to open that utility bill and wonder, what am I going to see? Whether you're a senior on a fixed income or a parent trying to make ends meet, or a small business owner trying to stay afloat, unaffordable energy disrupts everything. Today's action means immediate help to millions of people. As the speaker said, it's a lifeline to so many. But we need to remember this moment isn't just about reaction, it's about making sure we're prepared for what comes next. That's why I was proud to be one of the co-sponsors of Bill A-4817, which was signed into law earlier this year. The law created the Energy Bill Watch program, giving families real-time updates on their usage and costs so they're never caught off guard. It's about giving people more control, more information, more transparency. And I was also proud to support several other bills that just recently passed the Assembly, which not only address the cost of utilities, but bring greater oversight and transparency to the system as well. Together, we're proving that affordability and accountability can go hand in hand, that immediate relief and long-term reform are not separate goals, but are part of the same mission. Thank you.
Dan, thank you for coming up all this way. It's great to have you here with us. Last but not least, this is as tough a job as there is in the state right now, and I can say that with credibility given the job that I have. But please help me welcome another outstanding leader, the President of the Board of Public Utilities, Christine Gould-Sadovi.
I think you have a pretty tough job, Governor, but thank you very much. So good afternoon. Thank you to the governor and all of our legislative champions. I'm really honored to be here as we make this announcement. This $430 million in direct relief to ratepayers in New Jersey, residential ratepayers, is a critical, yes, a short term, but a critical step in addressing the rising energy costs. And it's so important that we're doing this right now, not just because the new rates have gone into effect June 1st, but because, as we can all feel in this room, it's quite warm, right? And the summer bills get higher, and so making sure that we're helping to offset some of those summer bills is so important to help support customers. Every residential utility customer in New Jersey will benefit because we are all in this together. $430 million is more than just a number. It's a direct investment to help support households so that they can lower their energy costs. And it's really a testament to the governor and our leaders in the legislature that we're able to do this right now. It represents the best of what government can do. And at a time when customers that are eligible for the federal LIHEAP program, the Federal Energy Assistance Program, which is being gutted, New Jersey is providing ratepayer relief to customers. This is part of our commitment, our long-standing commitment in this administration to energy affordability. This is one of the things that we are doing to address these affordability issues, but there are more. As the governor mentioned, community solar, which is a great opportunity for customers to save money. The BPU recently opened our additional community solar solicitation, and that provides a minimum of 15% bill credit for all eligible customers, some projects as high as 40%. We've also proposed at the BPU expanding the Universal Service Fund, which is our energy assistance program. We've also, as the governor mentioned, directed the utilities to file cost mitigation plans. So this direct ratepayer relief that we're here to announce today is a critical short-term step, but we are providing other long-term solutions as well, and I look forward to continuing to work with the legislature and with the support of the governor. Thank you so much, everyone.
I think what I'd like to do, we're going to do on-topic questions from the podium, if that's okay with everybody, and then I'll gather in the corner for off-topic if you guys still want me. But I wonder if I could ask Christine and all the legislators to come on up with me for a team shot and also be up here with us while we answer the questions. Does that work, guys? Why not? Sure, whatever you say. Put this down for now. You good? Thank you all. So if you want to stay up, if you guys join me, because I'm not sure I'll have all the answers. Anything on topic, please.
You said 430 million. I'm curious about some of the particulars, where the funding will be allocated from, and you said short term, how long the program lasts, and how customers will be able to.
Yep. So for the low and moderate income households, it'll be $150 spread across their bills the months from July to December. They will also get another $100, so that group will get $250 in total. That's probably one or two payments when the bills are hurting the most. My guess is September, October, but this has to be approved by Christine and her board. And everybody will get that latter $100. So everybody out there gets $100. Low and moderate income will get $250 in total, spread as I mentioned. Sources are threefold: the Clean Energy Fund, the BPU's share of the RGGI money. Important to say BPU share because other folks have pieces of that we can't use, and the solar fund that I always forget the name of.
The Solar Alternative Compliance Payment.
The Solar Alternative Compliance Payment Fund, which rolls off the tongue. Those are the three sources. Nikita, how are you?
Thank you. You mentioned BPU have to take action on this, I think, that it's not a legislative enactment, it's going to go through regulators.
Yes, so do you want to talk about that? You got a June 18 meeting?
Yes, although the funds are part of the clean energy program, the RGGI funds, which is not a BPU action, it's just the BPU's allocation of funds, and then the SACP, which is also through
piece.
the PPU.
But I think what we are deliberating is the $100, whether that's a one shot or a two shot, and that we're getting guidance on. Also, any formal arrangement, and again, want to repeat that the utilities, PSE&G first and publicly, but also constructive discussions with the others. Whatever programs come out of that will have to be approved at the BPU meeting on June 18th.
On the deferred bills proposals, that's still something under consideration, and if so, are there concerns about deferred bill balances like we saw under regulation?
So I can't, again, we're still in conversation, so I can't comment on that.
No news on that front. Sir.
You, Governor, and the legislative leadership, you talked about this being short-term and there are long-term things. Can you talk about what of the long-term things make sense, doesn't make sense? There's a lot of bills out there. Can you talk about what can get done?
I'll start and ask Nick and Craig to come in here. Clearly, we need more supply. So on my ledger, we'll be continuing to try to find a way to get common ground with the Trump administration on offshore wind. It'll be getting PJM to accelerate what is a huge backlog of supply sources. It'll be to work with the legislature and the BPU on doing everything we can to hypercharge solar and community solar in particular. Those are three things on my list. I won't get into specifics of potential bills that might come our way, but those are three high priorities. Nick or Craig, anything?
No, I mean, I think the governor's correct. I mean, those are short-term solutions. Longer term is recreating and looking at nuclear energy as a potential option. If that doesn't happen overnight, that takes years to get back online. Senator Smith's been out to look at small batch nuclear facilities that perhaps could be plugged in here, but still takes time to get that done.
Craig, anything?
Yeah, we passed some
Can
legislation.
you give me,
I'm sorry. We passed some legislation already to talk about things like transparency. We're working on a set of bills that we'll look at, and we've considered some of them. Things about how we go about making things less expensive, how we make things more affordable for people, and what role we would see the utility companies playing in those solutions. And then we've begun the process of engaging in conversations with energy producers like the solar folks. As the governor alluded to, the fact that we were in Tuesday or Wednesday in Perth Amboy. As I understand it, solar is the quickest and cheapest way to get some stuff online. But as we said, the larger problem, we've begun the work of doing that. So.
I just want to reiterate that Nick mentioned nuclear, which I meant to have on my list. That's a big priority of ours. In fact, we had a big summit earlier this week with one of the big nuclear small modular reactor manufacturers. You all good? Nikita, one more?
One more on the, I don't know if it means testing further, but the increments you mentioned, the low and moderate income, the additional 150, is that the same as affordable housing where it's a percentage?
Same as prior REAP, right? So
Yes, the prior residential energy assistance payment was for income eligible customers who are enrolled in what is the winter termination program, which has a catch-all for economic eligibility.
we good? Again, I want to thank all of our legislative colleagues who are here today, many of whom schlepped a long distance. I want to thank especially the Senate President and the Speaker. And Christine, as well, to you and your BPU colleagues. We're going to stay at this, folks. I promise you, we're united in this cause, and we're going to continue to do everything we can to make the utility bill more affordable and to make life in general more affordable. Thank you all. I just need like 5 minutes to do it. I'll meet you guys in my office. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for coming.
I understand you got a family trip coming up.